So, Andrew, give us a bit of context here. Let's look at the recent history of this issue.
It's been a big couple of months. Part of the start of it was this Alinta chief executive, Jeff Dimery, warning of the 35% power bill rise at least next year. So how did we get here? Well, more than 2 months ago, the Resources Minister, Madeleine King, announced a voluntary code of conduct for gas companies in a bid to keep gas prices steady. Within days, the Minister told me in an interview in Perth that there were further things that could be done on the gas price. And Industry Minister Ed Husic told Kieran a couple of days later that the government damn well better do something on gas prices or manufacturers were going to go broke.
We've had the heads of agreement agreed to put downward pressure on those prices, but I do accept if prices don't come down, there will be more for the government to do in that regard.
Such as?
Well, we will look at that and we'll see. The gas producers have to make the code of conduct and the heads of agreement work. They have to prove themselves to the Australian people, but also to those manufacturers that they can make affordable gas available to them. And if they fail to do that, the government always has other levers and it should always use them.
The biggest thing that the gas companies can do right now is recognise that their business model would make a locust swarm proud. I mean, at the moment, all they're doing is sucking up an Australian resource and selling it at phenomenal prices overseas, and doing so in such a way that is putting pressure on manufacturers and households in this country. They can either do the right thing by the country or they can continue to be greedy. It's Team Australia or Team Greed.
So then you had Treasurer Jim Chalmers and the AWU boss Dan Walton back in those calls for action on gas prices and a potential gas price cap. Then a federal budget, October 26, where the government said it expected a 56% rise in power prices in the next 2 years and a 40% increase in gas prices. It seems as if the government had decided then to cap gas prices, only for the Australian Energy Regulator to point out to energy ministers that coal price was the key driver of power bills. So at the 11th hour, before this National Cabinet to discuss the way forward on energy, the federal government decided it would have to cap coal prices as well, but the PM said, well, that's a matter for the states. This is despite the federal government nominating, as we revealed yesterday, the price at which coal should be capped, $125 Australian a tonne. Only one problem. As I said earlier, it now appears these caps are likely to be introduced, but what if the caps are put in place, but because contracts are already in place, and the government's left it too late, and because of ageing coal-fired power generators, bills go up a substantial amount anyway. That is when, Kieran, I tip, we could see direct subsidies to energy companies in the lead up to the May budget. So I'll repeat again, I expect a deal tomorrow at National Cabinet, or highly likely, or shortly thereafter, but I don't expect this to be the end of this issue by any means. I think federal and state governments will have to take further measures on power costs in the year ahead.